You bring
okay, before we're ready, here's the best one. Read that, and that's the guy responding to it.
Reminds me, well, these posts get dumber and dumber and dumber. Yeah, because I'm supposed to know about it? Fuck out of here.
Oh, I love Star Wars fans. Such a great
hang on, to let our listeners know, we gotta tell this story. Because so hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cantina Conversations. I'm Travis Snell.
I'm Taylor Field.
We're about to talk about the Mandalorian. We're doing a prediction show. We're doing a predictions before the trailer. At least maybe the trailer does drop, but we've recorded this before the trailer, so we're making predictions as loosely as possible because we like to see how close we're right. But Taylor, you want to know? Don't use any names, anything like that.
Nice.
But we are in a bunch of Star Wars groups. Go follow them. Star Wars Battlefront. That's one of our favorite ones, or the Battlefront, I should say. But so we won't say what group this is or the person because we don't want to embarrass them. But please say what they posted.
So are the rumors true? ? They're bringing Clone Wars back ? And this is just the other day, and we've had the trailer for season 7
since July,
like a long time. And people are posting things like me fail English, that's impossible, and like. There's no rumors. The trailer that's been out for ages. You're a Star Wars fan. You should know about the latest stuff.
I'll go read the last one because there's tons of we won't read.
There's tons of them.
That's what we were laughing at when we came in here.
The guy didn't respond to any of them save for this last one where this guy says, "Dude, this was confirmed months ago. These posts get dumber and dumber and dumber." And the guy responds saying, "Yeah, because I'm supposed to know about it. Fuck out of here, asshole."
Like. He's so wrong, but he's you know what? He'd be best friends with you when you're just so wrong and you just like commit to it anyways. But like just the fact that it has been out for months, people have told him like why he's wrong. You're just like, how am I supposed to know? Get the fuck out of here! It's you're in Star Wars groups, like you would like, and even if he just came in like, hey, I don't know how I missed it, but Star Wars Clone Wars come back, that's awesome. But just for him to be like, are the rumors true? What do you mean? How am I supposed to know? Like it's the internet. Like I want like I like we can't comment right now, but we should like I want to like you should save that when I can't comment tomorrow. I want to maybe ask him, be like, why wouldn't you know? You know, like I don't know. But you can tell he was just triggered by all these. So.
Oh yeah.
So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get the fuck out of here, asshole. We're about to talk about The Mandalorian, the first ever Star Wars live action TV show coming our way soon. Well, coming our way in fall. I think they've said in April. Well, probably not said. I think Star Wars Celebration is when we'll probably get our first trailer. Maybe we get it before, but it's going to be premiere on Disney+. Jon Favreau is the showrunner. You got Dave Filoni directing episodes. You got Bryce Dallas Howard. You got Taika Waititi of Thor Ragnarok. So you got... Great, I got the link. Great. I don't even know because I don't want to fight with the guy. So because these groups are too? Some of them are really wanting to kick them out. What?
You got the picture?
Oh, I got the picture. Yeah, these groups are quick to kick you out. Just ask him about his Bionicles group, but that's a different story for a different day. So we're gonna talk about some predictions. So I realized it was a lot harder because we did this after Last Jedi, and it was pretty easy to predict Episode 9 because we knew the characters and whatnot. But I found it was a lot harder to come up with predictions and whatnot or talking points. So I'm not sure how long it's gonna go. So I'm gonna throw it over to Taylor. I have some like easy kind of softball ones, but Taylor, what do you want to talk about as far as The Mandalorian?
As far as The Mandalorian goes, I'm excited for this show. I think, the rumors that I keep hearing about...
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. I've read into... I can't remember who's talking about it. I think it was someone that was off the set or working with the show, and they were talking about how there's just such, like, a large presence of stormtroopers, and the show is just so much fitting into the vibe of the original Star Wars trilogy that there's a few laughs, but they're doing such a good job. That was Taika. It was the director, yeah.
That was Taika Waititi.
So
which I'm glad, because his humor can be a little off the wall, so I don't want it to be too much like Ragnarok.
Well, he made a point of saying how I think it was just he couldn't get too much of his element in there, but at the same time, it's because they wanted to keep it very Star Wars. Like, I think that's a very safe idea, a very good idea. This show, just that one picture of the Mandalorian walking looks like old school OG Star Wars, just kind of vibes. That's great. And I think, the huge presence of tons of stormtroopers being in there is great because obviously this being right after Episode 6, the Empire is still kicking around. It's probably not reached the boundaries of the Outer Rim yet. That's just kind of, they are still operating out there. We mentioned Thrawn in our other previous Cantina conversations, but I definitely feel like, if they weren't going to bring him to the big screen, they could easily throw him into this show just to kind of end his story character or whatever like that.
I don't think season 1.
In season 1?
I don't think it's season 1.
I could see him maybe popping up at the end of the season as kind of like being the main bad guy that they kind of hinted at throughout it.
Taylor, you're never going to get Thrawn.
I hope so. I need Thrawn on the big screen or on the
They're just going to
TV
say in
screen.
some comic book that he died in a gutter or something.
No, they can't. They're saving him. Dave Filoni, he saved him in Rebels. He's saving him for something else. He's saving him.
But then doesn't that mean Ezra has to pop up at some point again?
Well, they made a huge point. They ended Rebels with literally, spoiler alert, Ahsoka and, I can't remember her name, but she's another Mandalorian. And they go out to the Outer Rim to go find Ezra. Was it Sabine?
I think so. But I don't know.
I can't remember. I'm not sure all of their names. I just know there's Ezra, there's Kanan Jarrus, and all that stuff.
I feel like that could be in a separate new animated series.
Well, like Resistance?
No, like a new one after that.
A new one?
Yeah.
It depends if they pursue it. I don't know. I feel like since Disney has a big thing for taking characters in the Clone Wars and cartoon series and bringing them to real life,
A big thing. Name me 5.
5?
Yeah.
There's Solo. With Darth Maul.
Doesn't count. He was in the prequels. I'm talking just creations of...
Saw Gerrera.
Okay.
I can't name them off the top of my head right
now. It's a big thing. Saw Gerrera. Oh boy. You keep talking. I'll find see if there's a link. And what I was gonna say, that guy, I can't post it because me and Taylor are both banned from groups right now. Another long story. But I said I just don't understand how you would miss it being on the internet. And then I followed and said, not throwing shade, just curious. So I think that's a nice enough thing. And then okay, fuck out of here, clown. But you keep talking. I'm gonna see if there's more characters from the animated shows to appear in live action. But I will highly disagree when you say it's a big thing. It's not a big thing. That's my whole crux about can not matter. It's not a big thing.
I could say Captain Rex. He was from the Clone Wars, and he was officially...
No, did he star in the movies, though, technically?
They didn't actually technically say he was in the...
But did he...
Return of the Jedi.
Did he or did he not star in the movies?
Return of the Jedi? He was in Return of the Jedi, but they didn't give him a name yet.
He wasn't in the prequels?
No. He wasn't in the prequel movies. Captain Rex, though, is in... that is him in Return of the Jedi. The old guy. Then there's Admiral Yularen, who's in A New Hope. He's also started off in the Clone Wars.
Big thing, just these like side.
They count as a big thing for Disney right now.
This was at a Kathleen Kennedy's own mouth during a Row One junket. This isn't really an approach that we have. We don't sit down. Fucking Feige would hate this. We don't sit down and start isolating a list of characters and build some stories around them. We really are starting with stories themselves, and then if some of the characters might come into what it is we want to do or say, we'll consider it then. But that's not part of the strategy. No. She doubles down. She triples down.
Feige would hate that. Feige likes to bring everyone together.
That's what Infinity War and Endgame is. It's just like, character!
They should have
new characters!
A Switch work day. Catherine
No.
tomorrow.
No. I love Star Wars, but I don't need her... I love Star Wars, but I don't love as much as Marvel, so I don't need her coming over and, hey, Ryan Johnson, you want to drink X-Men? JJ for X-Men, that's what I want. So yeah, I looked up lists. They don't even have a list of... That's how little it is. They don't even have, no one's made some fun, 10,
If I go through, I could get 5 for you. I just labeled 3.
But fine. It's not a big thing, and they're not in big roles. The biggest thing I saw Guerrero, and boy, was that awful, terrible movie. It's not a terrible movie. It's just not a good movie. It's a good movie. It's just a boring movie. It's fine. But yeah, Saw Gerrera... I don't know. That's the best you got. I don't think you see... I think they want this to stand on their own, and that's why this can kind of transition to one question I have. I think they want this to stand on their own as much as possible, but still adopting the lore in certain characters. It's tough because we have heard, not even rumors, there's apparently these photos haven't leaked out, but there's IG-88, right?
Well, we know there's bounty hunters that are going to be on it. I don't think it's limited just to IG-88. I'm pretty sure that there's supposed to be a collective amount of them.
Fuck out of here. Isn't your new Star Wars shirt and stars and Star Wars? You didn't even let me finish. I said, so we know there's IG-8, and he said, well, we know there's bounty hunters, and more just than IG-8. For the audio listeners, I have my thumb up like I'm counting, and he just cuts me off before I can continue. So there's IG-88, there's rumors there's Bosk, and there's just more. So they're nowhere going to get bounty hunter if they just stole the point from me. My point is, I feel like we'll get characters like that, but I feel like if you bring an Ezra in, if you bring a Thrawn in, just the way they're left in Rebels, you got to have to tell their story where they've been, right?
Well, not really.
You don't think so?
No, because I feel like, didn't we talk about this in one Clone Wars retro that
Never.
we did? Where you were fighting how we didn't have to see how, like, it was about the tea and stuff like that. We don't need to see that story of how it contributes to the main...
No! It's so smaller! He's referring to some Clone Wars stuff, so I can't spoil because it's not even out. You're talking about some people diluting tea in an episode opposed to Ezra and Thrawn are lost in the unknown regions. That's not a little thing. That's a big thing to explain how one character...
Let me give you a better example.
Wouldn't it feel weird if those fans were watching... Because what they say Rebels kind of takes place near the end of Return of the Jedi, right? And this show is 6 years after. So it would feel weird for them to pop... Well, and we have that example. It would feel weird for them just to pop up in a Mandalorian and be like, what happened to him? Like, why is Ahsoka still alive? Did they catch Thrawn?
Okay.
The same way for Darth Maul, we still, as my sister watched Solo for the first time last month and said, why the fuck is Darth Maul in this movie? I thought he was dead. And obviously they don't know the Rebels characters in the mainstream, but I think if there's enough people that go, why is Darth Maul in this? There's enough people to be like, and they've killed off Darth Maul. We know his story. To be like, who are these people? So that's where, try to make your point here.
Then, look at Luke Skywalker.
Fuck out of here, Luke Skywalker. He's dead.
Rumors. They brought Luke back in with Force Awakens, Episode 7, and they didn't explain it really at all what happened. Han Solo had like 20 seconds of explanation of what happened. And then in Last Jedi, literally Luke has about 5 minutes of dialogue of what happened in 30 years. Okay. In 30 years of time. But so if they're tackling 5 years... That's literally like 2 minutes of dialogue.
Okay, but here's... No! Here's a counterpoint. Luke in Return of the Jedi, his story was not ended on a cliffhanger. You just knew Luke was alive and he was out there. Then they chose to add more story on, because that story they started was complete. So what you're doing is, you have Luke's story, the completed story, and a new story. The way with Ezra and that gang, you have their story... And then it would be a new story. You have the whole chunk in the middle of their original story being completed. You just have this chunk in the middle gone. Where Luke, Return of the Jedi, defeat Darth Vader, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff he did, it's 30 years. But really, it is not that much. He was looking for Jedi artifacts. He trained Padawans. It went wrong. Then he became Yoda. Like, he became a Herden. It is 30 years, but that's a lot easier to be like, you guys went, what? Your ship randomly hyper-jumped to hyperspace
There's
to the unknown
a lot
regions?
of stuff that went on with that ship.
But that's what I mean. So
but you don't need to attach those two characters together. They both ended, and you could just throw Thrawn in this, and then you could be like, yeah, no, I escaped, or like after I woke up in hyperspace after my encounter with the Rebel faction, I connected with some Imperial remnants. Because Ezra, like, we don't have to say like they wake up and they're both together. Like, Ezra could have left.
But then would fans be like, yeah, what happened though? Why aren't they together?
Literally, that could be something that they could easily throw into it. That could be another TV show or something.
But that's why I feel like you do that in that TV show. You don't do it in The Mandalorian. Mandalorian, to me, the first season, you'll have characters like I was talking about, IG-88, Boss. And that was one of my questions, like, what other characters could appear, OG characters. I don't think you'll have anything of Luke, anything like that. Like, I know, like, you wouldn't have... Well, who knows? They did a young Han Solo, so you never know. But I don't think you have any of your main guys the same way you do in the animated shows that you have a young Leia in Rebels, because that's animation. A lot easier. I thought it would be those type of characters. And yes, the Rebels characters are unknown, like more unknown. Like, I'd say you go in the street and you go ask 10 people who Ezra Bridger is. I could make a bet that maybe one could know. I'll say one person. So... But even then, they are main characters to a series, and they like to hopefully build them up. Ahsoka's been around for a while. So I feel like those, if you put them in the show, that's too much baggage. Maybe Thrawn you could get away with, but you're not getting Thrawn, I'm sorry. But like, maybe Thrawn you can kind of get away with, but those other characters, that's too much baggage to throw on a franchise that's just starting out to establish The Mandalorian. To try and make you fall in love with this character, or like this character, or be a fan of this character. Adding those characters, I think even adding Thrawn is too much. I feel like the first season you keep basic, you add your tangential characters like an IG-88, a Bosk, or like if Aurra Sing was still alive, something like that, or someone's from Jabba's Palace, like stuff like that. But I feel like you don't add characters with big arcs in the show because that would overshadow or take away from the main show.
Yeah, fair enough. I can kind of agree with that. I think they did that with Star Wars Rebels Season 1 anyways, because at the end of Season 1, then they showcase here's Darth Vader.
Well, yeah, and then, because that was the end of Season 1, and then, was Ahsoka in the first season of Rebels, or was she second season?
I think she was Season 3.
So that's what I mean, like, once she came in, it took a while, they didn't just go, oh, Ahsoka's storyline, because she left and she has ties with Vader. It took a little while, right? So even same thing with Maul, they left him off and they brought him in. So I think they'll take that approach, where they're going to build the foundation of fall in love with these characters, and then you can meet more of the Star Wars world. Because I think they've said... I don't know, they've said like the show takes place on the Outer Rim, so we won't hear much about the Empire falling and stuff like that. But at the same point, we've heard that they've also been possibly in Tatooine, and I know you want to talk about the Stormtroopers. So, like, where do you think, how much, I don't know how to phrase this, because like I said, I feel like that's two condescending different things where you hear it's going to be away from the main storyline, but if you see Stormtroopers in the middle of, you know, them falling apart, the Empire, like how do you think they deal with the main canon storyline stuff? Do they, or how does that go? I don't understand with the rumors how that kind of coalesces. Maybe there's a time jump. I don't know.
I don't think this takes place on Tatooine. I don't think the Imperials, especially after A New Hope, they ever focused on having a presence on Tatooine. It didn't serve any purpose.
Well, we've heard rumors there's some scene or an episode, whatever. There's rumors that Tatooine makes an appearance.
Okay.
I'm wondering maybe if that's where, I know people roll their eyes, but I wonder if maybe that's where the Mandalorian could be originally from. Like the character Younger could be from Tatooine.
Yeah, that's possible. Mm-hmm. I think though that, going with there being tons of stormtroopers and that stuff, I feel like it's kind of sense like when, a virus were to break out in the world and it's like, it's very like fatal. It breaks out in like London, that's where it starts. That's where the Emperor
Brits. Fuck out of there.
Yeah, that's where the Emperor has died. He just died, above Endor, basically, and, that's where the serious repercussions of the Empire are inflicted the most, right there, and that's where it's like getting hit really, really hard and heavy. That's where the virus is starting off in London, and then slowly it spreads. So, other parts of the world, there's still strong foundations of government and of, like, things in order, but that virus is slowly spreading. So I feel like, from that moment on, the rebellion is spreading, mm-hmm. But there's still Imperial remnants all around the galaxy that are still at their posts, at their stations, and maybe they hear rumors that the Emperor is killed, but maybe the inner colonies, they know the Emperor is killed, but they're trying to relay the fact that, that doesn't mean it's a deterrent that the Empire is falling apart or crumbling. We're still strong. We still have a control and a grip on the galaxy. So I feel like they would do their best to maybe lie to their outer factions to keep control. So
that's what I'm wondering. What do you feel then? Like, how do you feel? Because I'm just having a problem with the rumors. That's where rumors are a problem. So maybe I'll just ignore them, because I feel like it's maybe what they're trying to say is it's not going to be about dealing with the Empire falling, but that could be a surrounding this character, what's going on. Like, he's not a part of, I'm part of the new rebellion trying to help, but just you see it going on, because to me, I thought it was almost away from all of it, so you wouldn't even hear about, like, whatever's going on with Luke and Leia. It doesn't even matter, because we're in a whole, like, different solar system.
I don't think we'll get Luke or Leia topics or anything. I think it's just going to be, like, they'll pop up with rumors and talk about, like, how the Empire has fallen apart, and I feel like the Empire...
But see, I heard stuff that it was, like, you wouldn't even hear those rumors because that didn't even matter, because it was so far away. But I don't think that's the case if Bosk and IG-88 there are...
And if there's lots of stormtroopers for an Imperial presence, then yeah. But, I mean, it depends in what sense. Maybe the Empire is pulled back and is forming up here for some reason, but like I feel like a lot of people in the Outer Rims, they wouldn't care, but
like Jabba the Hutt doesn't even care. For the most
he's
part.
dead at this part.
Well,
so
I meant fair point to Taylor. I should phrase that like when he was alive, it was like his own law down there, right? Like even though
but he had negotiations and establishments with the Empire.
I guess I'm thinking more Phantom Menace when that's why Qui-Gon went there, right? Because he knew at that time. Between the Trade Federation and whatever, the Republic, right? That they weren't going to get involved because he was just very down the middle. So I feel like Jabba the Hutt's still, he's dead. Maybe Zero the Hutt's kicking around. I don't know. Or Jabba's son. We never know him Jabba's son, though, right?
Son. We see him every now and then in the Clone Wars.
But he's not dead, as far as we know, right?
Not that I know. I don't know. I'd have to look
maybe he's around. Well, he better... Jabba be... One day we talk about casting. He better be in that casting Andor series. So you think what else with the kid? Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you because it's that kind of timeline, and I've not played the Battlefront game, but do you see any Eden Versio action going on?
No, I can't see that.
I'm just trying to think. What are any other characters you think could possibly balance up? Because also like we've talked about at least I think there'll be more characters like a boss, IG-88, like characters that are famous. We know the look. Do we see a Dengar? I don't know one.
I don't think we'll see a Dengar. I think at most we'll see the Mandalorian, we'll see Bosk, we'll see IG-88, and there's two other, I can't remember their names, but they got insect-looking faces. I think they're like brothers or something like that. For some reason, I could see them over Dengar just because I feel like that's something that Disney would just, I think that's something they would just throw in there.
Disney doesn't want Dengar.
Yeah, I hate to agree, but I feel like they really don't.
So, because I don't even have a read on this, what do you feel the character of the Mandalorian is? Do you feel he is a good guy on his own? Do you feel like he is a bounty hunter a la like Boba Fett? Because the strange thing is, like we've said probably before, Favreau says, oh, like Boba and Jango Fett, he's a Mandalorian. But to me, one, there's question of if the Fetts are Mandalorians. That's for a different day. But the Mandalorians, just their culture, they just weren't bounty hunters, right? So that's the thing of like, I don't understand when he says that he's like a Mandalorian, like the Fetts. So to me, that would mean he's a bounty hunter. So what in your mind do you think, what would you predict if you had a gun in your head? What is the character of Mandalorian? Like, what is his function as of right now in the story?
I don't think he's necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. I think he's probably going to be an incredibly honorable guy on his own quest or his own thing. Obviously, at this point, Mandalore's gone through so much shit. I feel bad for Mandalore as I do for Alderaan with how much bullshit that's happened. So obviously, the people are so lost and divided at this point. So obviously, for him to, pursue the kind of old kind of tactic of Mandalore, the old Mandalorian ways of, being incredible fighters and warriors. So obviously, he's pursued that route, but he's obviously on his own kind of journey. I don't know what for. I'm assuming that it's going to parallel some kind of, like, some of the books of when, like, after Jango died and Boba Fett was, like younger and on his way in the galaxy trying to figure out his own way and just kind of figure things out, which were great books. I feel like this, even though it's obviously a different character, kind of could be parallel to that, where he's just trying to figure out his own way, because we don't even know how old he is. I mean, he could be like a young adult, or he could be an old guy under there, so...
Well, we know who's playing him, Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like old, I think he's like in his early 40s.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a man.
Yeah. Well then, he's obviously...
And Taylor's all, again, just like Captain Marvel, real worried the Mandalorian was going to be a woman, weren't you?
Yeah, totally. But no, he if he's obviously in his like around 40s time, then he's obviously got a lot of, story that's gonna be, a lot of backstory to his character as to like he's lived like a very long life already. He's at this point in his life and his career. So I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. Like, I am feeling we aren't gonna get like a trailer, any more solid information on this until they like go into like the Disney Plus in like April.
Well, no, I don't think, because that's Star Wars Celebration. So I think the investors will see stuff, but we won't see stuff until I think Star Wars Celebration is like starts either that same day or like the day after that investors call that they're planning. So yeah, I don't think we're getting a trailer or anything till then. So that's why we're doing this cast now.
Yeah.
My idea or my prediction is I feel like it'll be in Taylor will love this, but a Logan-esque thing, because he doesn't agree with me in Obi-Wan. That's a different topic for another day. But not in the sense of the Mandalorian being down, out, depressed, in the sense of Logan's doing his own thing and he just kind of gets wrapped up in this whole facility with the doctor and why am I forgetting her name? I know it's Laura, X-23, and then he just kind of goes on that journey. So I feel like that'll be Mandalorian. I'm not sure if he's a bounty hunter or not. I would like that to be the case. It's only 10 episodes, so probably won't be, but I would have loved to just get 2 to 3 episodes of just him hunting a bounty. That was always my disappointment, that with Daredevil Punisher, it hasn't been canceled yet, in our timeline, but I always just wanted, like Dexter, there was always like a string of episodes where he was working on the main stuff, but he was just going after random criminals and he would kill them. I'd love a couple episodes of that with the bounty hunter to start us off, or with the Mandalorian. So that would be my prediction. I don't know if that's the case, but because it's hard for me to know where they're going to take this. So my prediction is he's just living his life being a bounty hunter, and he is somewhat of a good guy or has a code, and he somehow gets wrapped in some situation and he chooses to help. So that's kind of my prediction. So here's one for your Temple Mandalorian, Temple of the Fetts. Will we see will we see Boba Fett?
Yeah, that is the question. I don't know. He's either for sure killed off, or I don't know. If he were to pop up and team up with this Mandalorian, that would be so cool.
I'm a hard no. I think the best you can get, and this is where I'll say yes, you will hear Boba Fett mentioned and maybe even revealed if he is dead or alive.
Yeah.
Because people debate that, but I don't think you would see him because I think that would take away from the Mandalorian right away. And I think even this entire show, you would never see Boba Fett because their looks are just too similar. And I know in Clone Wars, obviously they have the same armor and whatnot, but as far as movies, they've never had two kind of Mandalorian characters the same bumping around. I could be wrong, but that would be my prediction, that you'll hear mention, reveal, maybe, but no sight of Boba Fett.
How do you feel if the reason these other bounty hunters are in there is because the Mandalorian has gone to them to, talk to them, get some information from them, and then he's actually searching for Boba Fett.
I am your father.
And that's why he goes to Tatooine in hopes of finding Boba Fett, because he doesn't actually know the
Why
fate.
would he want to find Boba Fett?
Because this Mandalorian obviously is a bounty hunter. Not obviously, but if he is a bounty hunter and he's obviously Mandalorian, maybe he's trying to find Boba because he wants to. There could be a personal reason for that.
Is there a chance, they've not said this, because he's just the Mandalorian, is there a chance that he's a Fett?
Like another clone?
No, what if this was like a Boba's kid? Because, so what? Boba?
How could it be Boba's kid? If the guy's in his 40s and Boba is like
Let me
in
get
his
the
30s.
right age on Pascal. No, Boba is what? 10 in Attack of Clones, right?
Yeah.
And then, and then add 30 years. So
No, it's 20.
Between Attack of Clones and Return of the Jedi is only 20?
Yeah, Return of the Jedi and A New Hope is like 4 or 5 years. Then Attack of the Clones and Revenge is like 3 years. So it's about 25, 27 years or so. He's still in his 30s.
So let's say we'll go 25. So he's 35, and then this takes place after Boba Fett would have been in his 40s. So yeah, maybe it doesn't work out. I'm looking at Pedro Pascal's age. But at the same point, yeah, I guess it doesn't really add up.
But that doesn't dismiss the fact that he could be a Fett. He could be a member of like Boba or Jango Fett's clan. Maybe he's out there trying to find Boba because he is a part of the Fett clan that they have been, kicked out of off Mandalore for whatever reasons. That would be plausible and that'd be pretty cool. And then he finds out and confirms okay, Boba is dead, and it's just this guy's mission, but it's getting us. People are excited about the Boba Fett stuff, but yet they're excited about what this guy is doing, and he's slowly changing and taking on that excitement that people have for Boba Fett onto the mantle of this new Mandalorian.
And I've always said that I never really wanted a Boba Fett movie. I could want him in a Bounty Hunters movie or whatnot, but I feel like Boba Fett doesn't have that much character, and especially people are always like, you don't want to take the helmet off, blah, blah, blah. The Mandalorian, if Pedro Pascal, I believe is now, I'm trying to look up his age, but if he's playing the Mandalorian, he's a great actor. I think they'll want to take the helmet off, so that's why you can break those rules, right? And Jango had the helmet off. I can agree with you that maybe that's why he goes to Tatooine. There's a chance that even is he just a friend or he's part of the clan, even though Boba Fett, I don't know if he has friends or whatnot, because you would wonder though, because this is only 6 years after, and that's where I'll be excited for them to explain his origin. If he was a bounty hunter, why would he have not been at that meeting Darth Vader called? Easy, I guess you can just say, hey, he was busy, with the Knights of Ren somewhere,
Well, that's just true. We could say, why... Well, Aurra Sing was, I guess, dead at that point.
Yeah.
But we could say, there's obviously tons of bounty hunters. Why weren't all these bounty hunters there,
Yeah.
So...
Fair enough. So here's some... So, yeah, Pedro Pascal's 43. So, yeah. So maybe he's not a Fett, but he might have some ties. So here's something I wanted to mention. Because we've seen it in every live-action Star Wars movie. Even you didn't think you're going to get a Rogue One, even if you got it hamstrung in some solo fanfic, which I've never seen but I hear, but a lightsaber. We have always seen a lightsaber, even when we thought we were not going to, especially in Solo, I'll break the joke now, that we thought there was no chance of seeing one. We still got one, which was awful. Stupid scene.
They were in the background, too, so it wasn't just... You mean
ignited.
Okay.
Ignited. Do we see a lightsaber in The Mandalorian? In these 10 episodes, do we see a lightsaber ignited by a character?
I think so.
And what do you think that would be in your theory?
I think it could easily be someone that just stole it off of a dead Jedi or just has one maintained. Because I feel like lightsabers are...
This is the... Wouldn't that be cool if they somehow strung and that's how... Somewhere in the Mandalorian series is how we found out that's how Maz got Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be great, actually.
I feel like, because lightsabers on the black market are a huge thing. That's something we learned about in the Clone Wars, obviously. There's... The crime syndicates and that sort of stuff, they collect those things, and especially now that the Jedi are gone, I feel like those would be a high necessity, and I feel like in the outskirts of the galaxy, in the shady kind of crime-ridden areas, I feel like that's something you probably see, or kind of Yeah, like make an appearance.
Okay, because yeah, you have more faith in me. I'll say no. I think this could be the first one. I say first season. I'm not gonna say show. Just because I always go. I guess for me it's tough because even when Rebels premiered, they did just make up Ezra and Kanan were there and had lightsabers. So for me, I was always like, oh, they're not gonna be like Jedi. So I'll probably be wrong. So I'll make it even more weird thought. Will you see a Force user, either light or dark side, in the series? And let's take out Luke. Let's take out Luke out of the equation.
No, not season 1. I think I'd have to go with you on that saying. If they're not going to introduce like a Thrawn or an Ezra in like season 1 or any big character.
No, but what if it's a new character? What if it's like an Ezra or Canon? Not them. I'm saying like a character they've made up, like a Saw Adventure set. We've made this character up for the Mandalorian, and here is a Sith.
So then
Sith assassin.
That could change things then, because then sure enough we laid out the groundwork for yes, he's looking for Boba Fett because remember the Fett clan. Now, what if he is with his bounty hunters or whatever, and a bounty came out for, hunting Jedi, or there's bounties, obviously, for hunting Jedi, and they got one that was on the planet, maybe if it is Tatooine or whatever, and they go there, and the other bounty hunters are trying to track him, but the Mandalorian pulls off and finds this younger, like, Force user, or, like, a lost Jedi or something, and tries to protect them, and ends up thinking, like, okay, maybe, you know what, I don't want to, like, not full-on good guy, but you could probably come up with, like, a Logan-esque kind of thing in that sense, where, your X-23 and your Wolverine
I guess I'm already wrong, because, the end of Rebels takes place around Return of the Jedi, right? Or right at the start?
The end of Rebels is after Return of the Jedi ends.
Yeah, so that's my one thing this is the movie, hardcore me. I don't like that there's other Jedi around. Well, Luke is around, like, I guess Ezra's gone, but he's still Ahsoka, who I know they'll say is, like, a great Jedi. But I don't like that, so for me, you could be right, maybe they'll just do it, but I hope not, because I want Luke just to be the only Jedi this time, and the only other Jedi should be the ones that he's training. That's some of the reason why I don't like some of the canon and animation stuff they do. I just feel like they just pimp stuff out or make it feel less important, because I feel like Luke being the only Jedi, training other Jedi, should be the only thing. Ahsoka shouldn't be around, Ezra shouldn't be around, Kanan. It should just be, this is a story, we haven't seen a Jedi in a long time. If it's in between 3 and 4, I can kind of swallow it a bit better, because like we're getting that Jedi Fallen Order game, because then it's like, okay, maybe they missed one. But after this long, I don't know if I'd like in a bounty. I'd like in a way with Maz, where they know the character, or you bump into a character that uses the Force, but not like everyone knows this person's a Jedi. Mm-hmm. So I'll say no for the. It's tough, but I'll say no. But I think I could easily be wrong on those. Any planets you're thinking we could go to? Obviously, we talked about Tatooine. I don't think we'll see Mustafar, but anything you think we go, or anything you think you want to go?
They could, like you said with Maz, they could easily slap down Takodana because it has that vibe.
Yeah.
They could slap down.
I don't think Endor, because if they're staying away.
Not Endor. They could slap down, what was it called? Although the Canto Bight was definitely an inner colony.
They're not going back to that. Yeah, just because I think fans didn't like that either.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see, either you get a Jakku, Tatooine, or a Takodana. It's just an outskirts kind of place with pirates and that sort of stuff. I could see them pull something right out of Clone Wars again, like whatever. I can't remember like what Hondo's planet it was or something like that, but just some other like crime-ridden planets or whatever that have stuff going down. You know what? Mandalore, I for sure could see them actually going there.
Yeah, because I don't know what happens there, but I imagine you'll go there as far as the origins of the character, perhaps, unless he just took the Mandalore's armor, right? So
yeah.
What is the planet they're on with Padme and Jango Fett's there and the changeling that got shot? What is that planet?
Coruscant?
Is that Coruscant? Man, they got some really crummy places there. Like that bar?
Shit! How much do you know about Coruscant and its levels?
Not really. Is Coruscant a Knights of the Republic?
It should be. I think it is.
No, because there's one planet that's like Coruscant. The very first planet you're on, you get blown up.
Oh.
And I think it's kind of like the Coruscant equivalent. But I'd honestly, there's one episode. So if I'm writing this perfect world, there's one episode where it's one of these episodes where you have to hunt someone down. It's just a bounty hunter episode. I would just love, excuse me, if one just episode he has a contract, he has to go hunt some person, and they just go, the last place he's been seen is Hoth. And it's just a hour-long episode of him on Hoth in snow trying to hunt down these people. Have you ever seen Born Identity? Mm-hmm. You know the ending with Matt Damon and Clive Owen when they're in that barn and it's snowing? And I would love something like that, just this episode. These two, big game style trying to hunt each other down in Hoth, so that's my dream. But other than Hoth, and I just want to go back to Hoth in general, but other than that, I'd like to go to the prequel planets. I want more of those because I like to look at them. Coruscant would be a big one. I'd love fuck it, let's go back to Naboo. Someone's hiding on Naboo. Why not? Like, any prequel planets I really would be a fan of. I wish this took place in the past more, but I want this for other prequels. I want us to go to Alderaan. Like, do they do in the animated shows?
Well, I don't think they do in Rebels, but I think they do a couple more times in Clone Wars.
They go to it? Because where I'm at so far, I've never been to Alderaan, right? We've never been on. It's just been Coruscant so far.
No, the episode that
with Padme and
was the assassination attempt. That was on Alderaan.
Really, was it?
Yeah, that was on Alderaan. That's why I was laughing about it.
Oh, I missed it. Wow, that's good. I'd love some live action stuff on Alderaan as well. But so that's my thing. I love that Hoth episode, but I would want Coruscant in the lower levels where that bar was. That'd be a great callback to Django. And I love that area, and let's get some death sticks, that'd be great.
Well, that's the thing with Coruscant, this is something
he's
like...
definitely going to be hiding in the thumbnail.
Oh, he is. Do it. There was a game that was cancelled. Everyone will remember the Star Wars 1313.
Notorious.
Yeah, that was going to take place down the lower levels. That was Boba Fett's codename, was 1313 or whatever. Yeah, so... That game, obviously, going on the lower levels. Even some of the books I've read, like Thrawn, the Thrawn novel I read, it always Thrawn. But it goes into
always Thrawn.
It goes into like before the character, I can't remember her name, but Miss Price, I'll call her because her last name is Price. Before she became Governor Price.
Jocasta Nu.
She Governor Price. She when she was just a secretary or whatever, she was working on Coruscant and she was running around on the lower levels trying to run some errands, and it's so seedy down there. Like, seriously, there's broken down elevators, and the further you go, it's just more and more crime, the lower and more poorer you go into the levels.
Yeah, that's very much like Knights of the Republic. I'm not sure the planet that it was on, but I love the Knights of the Republic, because like, it's so nice up top, but you go down, and it's like, same thing, you keep going, and one place looks like that place in for Ragnarok, where the people are like the fighters, like Korg, it looks like that, and then down below is like those, like, literally Basilos kept as a slave, but then also you have, like, the fighting arenas. Like, yeah, I would love that. I would love, like, a real crime-ridden planet like that. So if they went back to Coruscant, that'd be great. Because Coruscant is still alive even in our canon, right?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't destroyed.
Why have we not gone back there?
But the, yeah, it was a very cool thing, because, like, spoiler alert, in the Maul comic or whatever, like, when Maul was apprenticed to Sidious...
Oh, he's apprenticed to Sidious!
When he couldn't basically be around Palpatine, he spent all of his time wearing a helmet. He wasn't allowed to use his lightsaber or the Force, but he would just roam around in the lowest...
Into things?
No. He roamed around the lowest levels of Coruscant, killing people that showed indications of Force sensitivity, but weren't Jedi. Wow. So they were like smugglers and like thieves and like
dark shit.
Gang guys or whatever down there that had like Force abilities that displayed it, and he could sense it. But he just spent his time killing all those people down the lowest levels of Coruscant. Just super cool shit. Cause it's just such a seedy underworld.
No, so I have one because sometimes they said this is a limited series, but that's been rumored off and on again of like what that means and if that's even true. That limited series might just mean because it's going to be 10 episodes. So I don't know, maybe this is one season, maybe this is a few seasons. This is long con. This is something we may never know for years to come. But if you had a gun here, yes or no, by the time the show is over, will the main character of the Mandalorian be dead? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
I will say yes.
Really?
I really do. I just feel like if they're trying to go for something gritty, I think it will be at least 3 or 4 seasons. I think this could be something succinct and to themselves where they could have some good adventures. You could then write prequel comics of this character. You could do video games. There's 6 years still between this and Return of the Jedi, where if you kill him off, then you don't have people asking like, oh, where was he for this? Maybe he'll pop up. Because I feel like they want this to be its own story. I'm not 100% sure, because Jon Favreau, I don't feel like he's done anything that heavy. And you look at this bigger stuff, Jungle Book, he has to follow something. Iron Man, he couldn't kill off Iron Man 1, but yeah, I would say yes.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you do make a good point. I don't know, I feel like killing off these Star Wars characters, I guess they do that a lot in the prequel content that they dish out. But I don't know, I feel like in the sense if he is replacing Boba Fett, they might make him a long-standing character maybe down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, there's still 30 years of stuff to cover between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, so I feel like they could easily just throw in, you know, there could be another TV series later on that, you know, brings back the Mandalorian. Because you create that character and you build him in this universe, so you have the ability to go back and bring him back in another form of media or show that you do. And I think that's even what you said, like Kathleen Kennedy looks at. They create these new characters, and if there's room, they can bring in other characters. So
I mean the stories.
And the stories, yeah. So I feel like, you know, you don't want to limit yourself only to using what was created by George Lucas. You know, for the Disney to be successful owning Star Wars, they need to create new characters that people like and then be able to tap into them in other ways and other, like, live-action content as well, especially. So,
what is Captain Phasma's origin?
I haven't read her book, but apparently she's got, like, a crazy fucking, like origin
She does.
story.
I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's similar to Mad Max, and I've heard this thing, that's why in Last Jedi it's so big when her helmet gets cracked, because I heard it's a big thing, she doesn't want her helmet off. I just thought out of the new trilogy, that's maybe, like, if the show went more seasons and more in the future, if you could bump into, like, a young Captain Phasma.
That'd be
she's
kinda
Captain
cool.
Phasma, you know? So,
Yeah.
I don't think you bump into Ben Solo or anything like that. Like, I don't see any of those fitting, especially has nothing to do with anybody, so... Yeah, and I hope it's also not like Force Unleashed. I kind of liked it, but with Force Unleashed, they're like, Starkiller really helped us actually start the rebellion. I don't want that. I don't want like, he was about to help.
I don't want
Carrie
any
Fisher,
of that with the rebellion.
Yeah.
I want him to be his own thing, away from the rebellion, all that stuff.
Yeah, and the same thing as like that was one of my problems with Solo too. That of course his last mission like tied up to like this like we're trying to start a rebellion. I was like, oh no.
I read into that a little bit, and it's cool because like their rebellion. They gave the coaxium to Saw Gerrera, actually, and Saw Gerrera used it to basically start doing a bunch of stuff, so...
Anything else? Any other predictions? Any other questions you want to go for the Mandalorian? Anything? That's all my...
He doesn't have a jetpack in the picture, does he?
No, I don't think he'll have a jetpack. I think for budgetary reasons. That's a pain to shoot.
Yeah.
They make him a little bit different. Maybe maybe he'll still have that like Batman claw grip or whatever.
I'll take that, yeah.
Well, I guess Boba had it too, but...
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I'm super excited. I want to see some more stuff with the show. Honestly,
Since footage.
29, yeah, especially footage. 2019 is literally awesome for Star Wars.
Huge.
We got Fallen Jedi, or Star Wars,
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, and then we got Star Wars.
He's a Star Wars guy, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Clone Wars 10, yeah. Star Wars could have a great or really bad year.
Yeah, it'll make
that game could easily be bad. Episode 9 could easily be like in the middle. I think Clone Wars, the fans will like it. I think the show will be good, but if it disappoints, like it could be a year that shoots everyone up in the ass of excitement or just like kills it.
I'm hoping it ends literally. I think a lot of people want to see it end right with Episode 3 beginning. I think that would be a perfect way to end the whole series.
Oh, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I think Clone Wars is fine. That will be the one most fans like, and that's a conversation for another day. But check out our What's the Future Star Wars, because I still think releasing Mandalorian, Clone War, and especially where's Fallen Order gonna fall, because that's right
when it's releasing.
Yeah.
Well, they announced it. It's releasing in fall.
Yeah. I feel like that could maybe if it's all great then it doesn't matter. But I feel like the game, Mandalorian, Clone Wars, and Episode 9 all in 4 months.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it, but there is a chance that don't you think people that are not as hardcore as us could get fatigued? Like someone like a Dale Musk would be like, man, like on the cast, be like, we're talking about Star Wars all the time. Like I feel like if you're not a hardcore, and it's different. If that show comes out, it's great, then people are happy. But it's like the same way with DC, how they took a break for a while. Like if Star Wars just goes out and puts out all the stuff and it's not like hugely well received, I don't know. It's true. I think they should not have put Clone Wars in 19. I think they should have put that beginning of 2020.
Someone like Dylan, he's not going to pay mind to Clone Wars. He's probably going to be interested in The Mandalorian. Star Wars 9 is a given. That's the one kicker for Dylan. He's going to take a part in that.
I think he's going to check out The Mandalorian, though.
He'll probably check out The Mandalorian, but then even the game probably won't. The only reason he would feel fatigued is because we'll be talking about it a lot. Yeah. But average Joe Blow out there...
But that's what I mean. What if people... Like, I'm talking about the other days, like, with people talking at work or whatnot, and like, oh, another Star Wars thing? And then when people are like, oh yeah, The Mandalorian's coming out, or no, what if they go to the Clone Wars? They're like, oh, is that new live action? No, that's a revival of the anime show. What's this Jedi Fallen Order? Oh, that's the video game.
I don't think the Clone Wars will get out to, your average Joe Blow. I think The Mandalorian will, and I think Fallen Jedi will, but I think Clone Wars is at the bottom of that.
So then why not save Clone Wars for 2020? It's like right when you're feeling that episode 9 lull of like, oh, it's gone, the saga's over, Skywalker saga's over, boom, March 2020, you got Clone Wars, here you go.
Yeah.
And especially because there's, as of right now, I guess the rumor is that Cassian will probably release 2020, but I imagine that'll be the fall as well. 2020 will be the first time in a long time with no Star Wars movie. Why not save Clone Wars to then? Like, I don't understand the need to have... I just think that's too much back-to-back. We'll watch all, we're going to review it, it's going to be a great month for the cast, I can't wait, but I just think, like, you could space it out a little. You know, it just feels like Disney has this thing of like, okay, at the end of 2019, you license it up, and it goes back to Fox, or like goes back up in the air. It's like, you guys own Star Wars. You could space this out.
When is Mandalorian coming out? Cause
they just say fall. All the stuff is fall because, well, they say no. Sorry, they haven't said this, but they said the app is launching fall 2019. So I'm saying the earliest is September, and then they said Mandalorian. Also, we know episode, and then Clone Wars now fall into. All I said, those are coming out 2019. Obviously. What is it? Episode 9, we know that's December 20th, but the rest of them, they just say 2019. So I would assume maybe the show, I would say you launch with Mandalorian in September, and then you do Clone Wars in October, and then you have a month buffer of November. But then, this is the problem is, you think it's not just this stuff coming out. In November, you're going to be getting trailer, and TV spots, and announcements, and the hype, like, I feel like what happens if the hype gets put too many places for Star Wars and it's not focused on the movie enough.
I feel like they're going to have a lot of hype centered around Episode 9. That is their main go-to golden egg. And that being said, then I feel like people are going to flourish in to go and see Episode 9. So what they want to have is they want to have Disney Plus set up. They want to have it established. They want to have, you know, all of the old, like all these other Star Wars movies on there. They want to have all this other Star Wars content on there. All this other Disney content already plastered on there. So when people come in, it's like, okay, we got all this old stuff, but you know what? Oh, I've seen one trailer for The Mandalorian. Yeah, I'm super excited about Episode 9. I'll watch The Mandalorian.
I'm fine Mandalorian.
You know,
Clone Wars, though, I don't need. In the video game, fine. It's
I think Clone Wars, they know that the fan base is there. They know that the fan base will be there to watch it. I don't think they need to do much promoting with that. Period. Okay, and plus, enough. I feel like the kids that are going to be there, the parents will be like, oh yeah, you can watch this show, and they can watch the Clone Wars. So I feel like they don't have to worry about that. Mandalorian and Episode 9 are their two kickers. The Mandalorian they're going to promote, and then Episode 9 they're going to promote. I'm going to think that they're going to be like, yeah, people who are getting super excited about Episode 9, here's Disney Plus with all this awesome content, and here's the new show, The Mandalorian. And watch a trailer for it, and I think it'll be enough to pull people in that'll be curious, but I don't think it'll be too much in the sense that people will be like, yeah, no, I checked out the show The Clone Wars, there's this game Star Wars Fallen Jedi, Episode 9's out next month, and we just watched The Mandalorian.
I just feel like right now, this is why it'll be different when we get there, and it's completely different mediums because it's a TV show versus a movie, but we've said that a few times that it feels like Captain Marvel has a little less hype because everyone's just like, I just want to get to Endgame. That's a bit of my worry of like all this stuff coming up and people just being like, I just want to get to Episode 9. I think Mandalorian's different because it's a TV show, it's a whole different medium, but I think with the game and everything else, I just worry that maybe the hype will get lost certain places. I don't know, but maybe it's the reverse where if The Mandalorian is so great, it'll get people excited. I think it's the same way as like, that's why I think Black Panther, like that being so good really helped, not really, Endgame or Infinity War is always going to be big, but if like Black Panther sucked, it would be like, oh, like the last one wasn't as good, like I'll see Infinity War eventually, but lots of people love Black Panther, and that just got people excited, you know, and that's why hopefully Captain Marvel does the same. So if the show's great, it does that. And I think it actually will be. If I had to guess which, well, I said Clone Wars, but I think Mandalorian has a good shot, but
I don't think
it's just interesting.
The Mandalorian, though, I mean, it's not setting up, people don't have to worry about that, like, oh, to get to Star Wars 9, I have to watch The Mandalorian. True. It's just going to be out there and marketed like, yeah, here's just another Star Wars story, and I think people would appreciate like that, like, oh, you know, I don't have to go to the movies to see this, I can see this at home.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a original Star Wars story, you know, and all that, so... I think people just be like, oh, you know, I can watch that from home. Yeah, I'll go home and I'll check that out, and I don't have to watch it to watch Episode 9. So
yeah, true.
I don't know. I trust Disney will market it accordingly because it is a lot for 1 month.
That's a lot. Yeah, it really is. But hey, you're in your bang for your buck for Disney Plus, and I just hope we get it in Canada. So I really do.
Oh, we better get it in Canada. Holy shit!
Yeah, you know. So there's a chance. I'm watching one way or another. If they don't let me watch it in Canada, I ain't waiting till...
That'd be pretty poor.
I ain't waiting till, like, you can get it on Netflix in a month. No. I'll be talking to my friend, who was the friend, crap, what did we say on the Golden Geeks? I can't remember. Jessica made some joke about her friend, like, she streamed it or something. We said, like streamer gym or something. I don't know.
I remember what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Oh, yeah. Taylor, where can they find us?
Ladies and gentlemen out there, you can find us in the search bar at Geek First Space Podcast on Facebook, Google, all that fun stuff. And be sure to check out the Battlefront page. Gotta throw that out. Yeah, they got tons of awesome Star Wars facts, and you can even submit your own facts if you think that it's fact-worthy for all the fans to see. They got tons of information there. And also, whatever poll is happening, depending whenever this episode drops.
This will probably be DC's kicking up right now.
DC is happening.
Because this said I was planning on releasing The Mandalorian. It'll be early on Patreon. I should have said that. Well, not at the beginning, it wouldn't matter. But this will be on Patreon first, and then it'll be for the listeners in March. So, yeah. So it'll be DC time because we're leading up to Shazam. So, and then the other thing we're doing a Batman fantasy draft like we did with Marvel and whatnot, so we're gonna be fan casting like Batman. And
I got my list already written up for the Batmans.
Okay, I'll tell you why, but me and Dale made an executive decision to take out Joker. By the way, so yeah, I'll tell you why, because some stuff. But yeah, subscribe because we got lots of good stuff. This year is just gonna be good. March is like February is the calm before the storm, and now in March like Captain Marvel, Shazam, Detective Pikachu, and then like Endgame, and it's just back to back Spider-Man and Stars, all this stuff. We're gonna be covering all, whether it's a collection of Taylor and I or a bunch of other people. It's gonna be a really fun year. So you want to subscribe because there's lots of bunch of reviewers out there. We know that, but I think you're gonna have the most fun with us because we don't take ourselves too seriously. So thank you very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. May the Force be with you
always.
Boom.